Hi unicorns, it's Desiree Carlo, and I'm giving you another video today. It's kind of a serious topic, but it's a topic that was suggested to me because I usually recommend you guys give me topics that you would like to hear me discuss and give my opinion on. So today's topic is something that was given to me on my Facebook page, and it is anti-blackness in the queer and LGBT community. I do have feelings about this, but I'm not going to get too cryptic, but for the most part it's just going to hit on some basic points. So obviously there is anti-blackness in the community. There's actually anti-blackness everywhere, but it does still, even though it is prevalent, it still never ceases to amaze me about how prevalent it is in a marginalized group, because you expect marginalized groups to be able to empathize with other marginalized groups, not really try to dismiss them or silence them. And all too often, black people tend to face erasure, dismissal, and even like a mockery, like how some people of other groups tend to take what they believe to be black behavior and make somewhat of a caricature or a mockery of it, and it's really prevalent in it. I did not notice this until actually analyzing RuPaul's Drag Race, and you know what I'm talking about, the girl. It's like it's such a cheap imitation that, I don't know, like when you start becoming woke to these kind of problems, when you notice yourself cringing at certain references and certain behaviors, that's how you know you're waking up to systemic, hindrances. Like that's how you know you're starting to realize what's really going on, because at first it doesn't bother you that much, like, oh, they so funny. But then once you start realizing what's going on in society around you, references like that will start to make you cringe. It'll start to say, ooh, And the way I knew I was beginning to wake up to these kind of things was the season of RuPaul's Drag Race with Laganja Estranja. Yeah, that girl. Oh man, horrible. Like, she made me cringe the entire. And I was actually kind of proud because there were actually other people, not saying that it hasn't happened in earlier or later seasons of the show, but it was for some reason that particular show where she was trying so hard to be liked that it became, you noticed that she was purposely trying to do that because she had seen other queens do it. And she's like, oh, well, I'm gonna really lay it on thick. And not only was it cheesy, but the corniness kind of, it made it offensive. Like, Laganja, is that really how you think? The played out finger snap and the played out neck roll. Like, honestly, I'm not gonna lie. Like, I'm black and I'm constantly around other black, black non-men, and I don't see that. And it's like when normally the people that I surround myself constantly are black, for some reason it's like I'm convinced that that's just a really cheap media portrayal of what they think black non-men are like, because I'm constantly surrounded by them, and none of us act like that. We do not constantly neck roll and purse our lips and after. We don't do that, okay? We just talk. So is there a cultural difference between our conversation and other conversations? Sure, but this cheap, like that needs to go. But that's literally just a very small layer of what people portray us to be like, right? Movements like Black Lives Matter has also, kind of, received backlash, as well, because people are quick to identify with the marginalized group they belong to, but they are also very quick to remember, how they benefit from society once another group kind of voices how, intersectionality, affects them, right? It's not just gay. Like, you have, gay, black, and woman. You have trans, black. You have like so many different groups, and for some reason, that's kind of looked down as, oh, so what? Do you think your struggle is worse than my struggle? And it's like, nobody is saying that. We're saying that our struggle is the struggle that's often ignored, yet it's the struggle that's literally the most dominant, right? We're facing, we're losing lives. We're literally losing lives for being who we are, and being who we are, having literally, we're not choosing to do anything. We're literally just being ourselves, and we're facing backlash for it. And instead of receiving empathy for it, we kind of receive more hatred, or at least that's what I noticed, is literally more hatred going around for it. And it's not making sense to me, because, why does a struggle offend you? I'll never understand. And it's not just, by white people, right? Like, it's literally non-black people or non-black people of color can also be very anti-black. I've noticed it, a lot. So, like, for example, I don't know if anyone has read this story, but there was an incident at Toronto Pride where, the Black Lives Matter chapter there kind of halted the Pride Parade and was calling people out on their silence of what's happening to black bodies. And instead of people trying to unify for this movement, it kind of received hatred. The leaders and organizers of that chapter started receiving death mail, death threats, being called an N-word, just being out and about on the street, getting verbally assaulted. And I kind of don't understand why voicing this struggle that seems to kind of go ignored, why bringing light to it ignites hatred. That's what I don't understand, I still believe there's a chance for unification. I do. It just really requires, maybe just listening to what people have to say, and not necessarily saying, yeah, listen to what I say, I don't agree with your stance. No. Like, just hear the people, the oppressed people's, perspective. Just listen to them, because it's clear that they don't get listened to enough. Like, I think it is possible to listen to them without trying to silence them, without trying to tell them that their reality is invalid. Who are you? Who are you to really tell them, that their reality is invalid? Like, there's no possible way you can do that. So you can't really say, oh, you're just exaggerating. You can do things, okay? Like, everybody goes through stuff. You're not special. Someone highlighting their struggle, trust me, it's not a special feeling to feel targeted. It's not special. Nobody wants this, And that's also another thing that kind of bothers me about it, that it's treated as, we feel entitled. Huh? Like, since when did becoming a super targeted group become wanting to feel special? Like, literally being literally in harm's way and having harm being attracted to you for simply just being who you are is a way to feel special. That's a very distorted perception, in my opinion, because nobody wants to be targeted. Nobody wants to be in harm's way. Nobody wants harassment and the chance of literally losing their lives for being who they are. That's really asinine thinking. I think it's possible to acknowledge a group struggle You know, it's possible. And you don't have to feel guilty for doing so and feel like you're ignoring your own struggle. You don't have to feel like you're acknowledging one group's struggle and say, man, you know, if I acknowledge this person's struggle, you know, am I invalidating my own struggle? No. It's kind of like the same as saying, you know, if we have friends or if we have a certain friend that literally don't have any money to get to and from work, and we help them out by giving them train or bus fare or giving them a couple dollars for gas money, you know, despite me not having paid my cell phone bill this week, that doesn't invalidate my struggle because I helped them out or I acknowledge they're in a bind right now. Helping someone in a bind does not say I'm no longer in a bind, you know, or so what, you're in a bind? You saying my bind is not important? No, it's literally just having empathy. That's all it is. It doesn't get any simpler than that. It's literally just being a decent human being. So I think if we can just somehow not equate acknowledging other groups' reality, their unique struggle. Like, it's okay to acknowledge that it's a unique struggle and it's a unique struggle that you don't really go through or relate to. It doesn't invalidate yours to acknowledge facts, you know. So as long as we can get over oppression Olympics, which is a term that's been coined, and I kind of agree with that term because it's kind of like, it's what it feels like people are doing. People are jumping over hoops to feel like who's more oppressed. And it's kind of become a weird and useless monkey race for who's more oppressed, you know, who's the most oppressed. And it's like, this is not something we should be aspiring to, like who's the most oppressed. No, like that's a really dumb rat race to be a part of. Nobody wants this. Nobody should want to be oppressed. And you should not want me to be more oppressed than you. And you should not want to be more oppressed than me. You should literally want the entire world to be decent human beings. And you should all want us to have access to the same kind of humane treatment. That's literally what the goal should be. So that's literally my take on it. It's literally such a vast topic that it would be impossible for me to cover every single thing in one video. But, you know, this is a time where I'm not really asking for other topics to talk about. I'm just going to ask you to share your experience. What have you noticed? You know, what anti-blackness made you, what moments have made you cringe? You know, have you ever been around people who, you know, said or did microaggressive things towards you, or, you know, kind of made a mockery and didn't realize it? Have you ever gone through anything personally? If you are comfortable enough to share your story, I am inviting you to, you know, leave it in the comments, any stories you want to share, anything that you've noticed. Just go ahead and vent, unpack. You know, this is a safe space to do so. Even if there's something that, you know, on this topic that I've kind of repeated, you know, if there are sentiments that I've repeated, you've heard, you know, or a sentiment that I've expressed in this video that you've heard from other people and you still truly don't understand, you know, it's okay to ask questions. Don't demand, though, don't tone police. You know, if someone is frustrated, let them be frustrated. You know, it's really not personal. You know, that's another reason, like a lot of people take it personal, and it's like, you didn't necessarily do anything to that person, but when you constantly, it's kind of like if this same bee came and started stinging you in the same spot every day, right? Like you like to go out on your patio and this same bee comes around like clockwork every day at 2 p.m. and stings you in the same goddamn spot and just leaves it swollen and leaves it there to remind you that they're probably coming back tomorrow. You know, you probably wouldn't be that friendly towards that bee either, right? You probably be ready to kill it, right? Not saying, I'm not suggesting there is no inclinations behind that sentiment. I'm just saying that's really how it feels. That's how anti-blackness and microaggressions feel in any marginalized, you know, group. But to have it in the LGBT community, it's really, it's like I'm part of the LGBT community, so it's like this is my you know, that's my folks, you know, and it's like when I face it in this group of all other groups, when I face it in this group, it literally hurts. It hurts so much, you know. So, you know, I'm leaving this video for anyone to, like I said, unpack, vent, get it all out your chest. If you want to share stories, go ahead. Make sure to subscribe to my channel for more content. Please give this video a thumbs up. And I will see you in the next video. Oh, and also remember, follow my Facebook. I always leave my links in the description to my Facebook and my Twitter. So make sure also, you know, go there for, you know, whenever I'm about to upload. Sometimes I will go there to my Facebook, probably my Facebook before my Twitter. But if you want to know exactly when I'm about to upload or exactly what I'm going to talk about in my next video, follow me on those pages. I'm going to leave my links in the description. So until next time, I will see you guys in the next video. I love you guys.